Sheffield 57, the sponsor of this webcast, invites you to visit our re-envisioned condominium residences.
Good day. I'm Adrienne Lavalley, and this is The Real Deal. Deputy Mayor Dan Doctoroff resigned to take a position at Bloomberg LP. SL Green buys the Citigroup towers for more than $1.5 billion, and the Bush administration gets a 5-year rate freeze from the mortgage industry. That and more on The Real Deal webcast this week. But first, some highlights from this week's interview. Last week, Judge David Cohen blocked the eviction of the 31 market-rate tenants at the famed Manhattan House building. The tenants had argued that the owner Jeremiah O'Connor failed to renew their leases after buying the building and trying to convert it to condos. Real Deal reporter Jen Benepe spoke to the attorney for the tenants, Kevin McConnell, partner at Himmelstein, McConnell, Gribben, Donahue, and Joseph.
People might say that Judge Cohen interpreted the Martin Act in a way that's prejudicial and novel. What do you say to that?
Well, I would agree to the extent of prejudicial. We're passing this so that way the conversion process is not disruptive, doesn't cause undue hardship on tenants. Non-regulated tenants are protected against eviction.
Do you think we're going to see a number of these types of lawsuits?
The sponsored developers have pretty much taken the position, let's abide by Judge Cohen's decision.
For the full interview, click on the link below. And now for the news. City Economic Development Chief Dan Doctoroff has resigned effective December 31st. In a surprise move, he will become president of Bloomberg LP, Mayor Michael Bloomberg's global information services company. Bloomberg said Doctoroff's lasting influence on the city would be larger than that of famous city planner Robert Moses. Doctoroff pushed for the redevelopment of Hudson Yards and Willets Point near Shea Stadium in Queens. But he leaves with a mixed record. His biggest blow was the failed attempt to win the 2012 Olympics. SL Green announced last week it has agreed to buy Citigroup's 2 Greenwich Street towers for over $1.5 billion. The purchase was made in a partnership with Canadian real estate firm SITQ. The property's 2.6 million square feet sold for $598 per square foot. The Bush administration reached a deal last week with the mortgage industry to stem the tide of foreclosures by freezing the interest rate of some subprime mortgages. The 5-year moratorium on rate increases would apply to loans made from 2005 through July 30th of this year. A co-op at 1060 Fifth Avenue has reportedly sold for a city record of $46 million. The 17-room penthouse will best the record Rupert Murdoch set when he paid $44 million for his triplex in 2005. The buyer is hedge funder Scott Baumer and his wife. The seller is poet and writer Georgia Shreve. The New York Times reported that the related companies and Vornado are in talks with Macy's about moving the department store from its historic Herald Square home to a new Penn Station mall. The city and state are proposing a special zoning district that would grant the builders the right to transfer development rights across the 20-block area around Penn Station. Department store giant Lord & Taylor has signed one of this year's biggest office leases. The retailer is moving some of its office operations into 109,000 square feet at the Starrett Lehigh building at 601 West 26th Street and 11th Avenue. The deal frees up space in the Lord & Taylor flagship building on 5th Avenue at 38th Street. The company plans a $100 million renovation at the 10-story flagship building, which could be designated a landmark. Luxury handbag retailer Louis Vuitton has purchased a small office building adjacent to its American flagship store at 1 East 57th Street for $60 million. The 10-story building at 743 Fifth Avenue was sold by Centurion Realty. Centurion bought the property 3 years ago for $28 million. Apple opened its 3rd and biggest Manhattan store last Friday at the corner of West 14th Street and 9th Avenue. The once gritty neighborhood is now the home of La Perla, Diane von Furstenberg, and Alexander McQueen stores. Thank you for joining us for this edition of The Real Deal webcast. Remember to click on the link below for this week's interview. Please join us every week for the latest in real estate news. I'm Adrienne Lavalley, and this is The Real Deal.